was founded over half a century ago in 1932 in Osaka, Japan by Muneomi Sawayama as an actual combat form of Kempo. It began as an inquiry into the techniques of fist fighting. Eventually, in the search for a method of free fighting training, a system was devised in which participants wear protective gear. Thus, for the first time, it became possible to safely participate in actual combat training. This new fighting system was named Nippon Kempo. Reiho, bowing. Budo combat should begin with a bow and end with a bow. Since ancient times, humanity has prospered through harmony and has declined when this harmony has been lost. A bow is a gesture of respect to the other party, as well as an act of moderation. It is a concrete expression of a desire for harmony. In Nippon Kempo, there are three types of bows: the zare, ritsure, and sonkyo no rei. It is through these bows and the respect they imply that a fighting method becomes Budo. Sonkyo no rei, the squatting bow. From a natural standing position, regulate your breathing and assume a squatting position. Place both hands on your knees and keep your spine straight. Match your timing and movements with those of your partner. To bow, bend from above your waist and place your right fist on the mat. After bowing, return to a squatting position, then stand up. Remember that your movements should always match those of your partner. This is Sonkyo no rei. Kihon. These basic techniques are the true expression of Nippon Kempo. As long as the construction and function of the human body and the physical principles that govern the earth do not change, these fundamental forms will remain the same. The basic techniques of Nippon Kempo are divided into 5 categories: kamae, kobushi no waza, keri waza, uke waza, and kawashi waza. Kamae, stances. Chudan no kamae, the middle stance. From a natural standing position, take one step forward with your left foot and assume a half-face front stance. The toes of your forward foot should point toward your opponent. The toes of your rear foot should be positioned at about a 45-degree angle with respect to the front foot. Your face should face your opponent squarely, and your chin should be pulled back. Your hands should be opened naturally, with the thumbs bent. Both hands should be held at the level of the solar plexus. The right hand should guard the solar plexus, while the left hand should be held forward, with the elbow bent at about a 120-degree angle. It is important that the spine be straight, the shoulders be relaxed, and the arms be held fairly close to the body. Both knees should be slightly bent, and your body weight should be balanced equally on both legs. Let's look once more at a proper Chudan no kamae. Kobushi no waza, punching techniques. There are 5 major kobushi no waza: the tsuki, yokouchi, sotouchi, nanameuchi, and ageuchi. 3 major striking surfaces are used with these techniques: the honken, or fist, the hyoken, or back fist, and the riken, or front knuckle fist. The tsuki, or punch. The tsuki could be thought of as the most basic of all the fundamental techniques. There are 2 types of tsuki: the mentsuki, or face punch, and the dosuki, or body punch. The mensuki, or face punch. From Chudan no Kamae, push off your rear foot and take one step forward with your forward foot. Punch, then return to a stance. When punching with the rear hand, twist your hips from the back leg forward. When punching with the forward hand, push your hips forward in the direction of the punch. From the stance, make a fist while throwing the punch and tighten the fist at the moment of impact. The striking surface here is the honken. The target is the chin. When delivering a mensuki with one hand, use the other hand to guard your solar plexus. The main objective of this basic practice is to create the proper form. For this purpose, it is important to move with relaxed, easy movements until the proper form is achieved. Here, once again, is a proper mensuki. The dozuki, or body punch. In the case of the dozuki, the target should be at almost exactly the height as the solar plexus, and your body should be in a slight crouch so the fist and shoulder are at the same height. The other hand should guard your chin. When punching with the rear hand, step forward and slightly to the side with the front foot. When punching with the forward hand, step forward in a straight line and turn to form a shikobumi, or straddle leg stance. Let's look once more at a proper dozuki. The yokouchi, or side blow. The yokouchi is most effective when fighting in close to your opponent. There are two types of yokouchi, the men yokouchi and the do yokouchi. The men yokouchi, or side blow to the face. While moving your hand as if stroking your stomach with your little finger, flip your wrist making a honken and hit the side of your opponent's chin. The elbow should be held at about a 90-degree angle. The positions of the feet and body should be almost exactly the same as for the mensuki. However, it is important to emphasize the twisting of the hips. When far away from your opponent, you can also extend your elbow and use the riken to hit the side of your opponent's face. Let's take another look at the men yokouchi. The do yokouchi, or side blow to the body. As in the dozuki, your body should be in a slight crouch when you deliver the punch. This is how a proper do yokouchi should look. The sotouchi, or outside blow. The sotouchi does not have the power of the tsuki, or the yokouchi, but it can be delivered very quickly. A sotouchi with the forward hand in particular is often used as the blow for a first offensive. To deliver a sotouchi, relax the wrist, flip it while making a hyoken, and hit your opponent's face. When delivering the blow with the rear hand, it is important to twist the hips sufficiently. The blow should descend at an angle of about 45 degrees. It is important to deliver the blow as if cracking a whip. Let's take another look at the sotouchi. The nanameuchi, or slanting blow. The nanameuchi is delivered as if throwing a ball, by swinging with a wide motion and then striking downward. When delivering the blow with the forward hand, step with the rear foot and change from a stance with the left foot forward to one with the right foot forward, and as when delivering the blow with the rear hand, swing wide and strike downward. Use the riken as the striking surface. The target is the face. The blow should descend at an angle of about 45 degrees. This is what a proper nanameuchi looks like. The ageuchi, or rising blow. The ageuchi is often used when fighting in close. To deliver an ageuchi, move the arm as if scooping up something. Flip the wrist while forming a honken, and then punch upward, striking the chin. It is important to use the power of the upper body and the power of the leg muscles to lift the upper body. Let's take one more look at the ageuchi. Keriwaza. There are 5 basic types of kicking techniques in Nippon Kempo: the tsukigeri, agekeri, yokogeri, hizageri, and fumigeri. The major striking surfaces used in kicking techniques are the risoku, or ball of the foot, the kosoku, or top of the foot, and the shosoku, or heel. The tsukigeri, or kick. The tsukigeri is used to strike at the opponent's body with the risoku. When performing a tsukigeri with the rear foot, push off your rear foot and take one step forward with the forward foot. Then twist your hips, lift the knee, and kick. While kicking in this manner, the position of the upper body also changes, and the left hand guards the solar plexus. When performing a tsukigeri with the forward foot, pull the back foot forward until it is beside the forward foot. Then lift the knee and kick. Let's take one more look at a proper tsukigeri. The agekeri, or rising kick. The agekeri is used to strike upwards at the body of an opponent who is leaning forward. In general, the striking surface is the risoku. The steps and position of the upper body are the same as for the tsukigeri. Here, once again, is a proper agekeri. The yokogeri, or side kick. In general, the yokogeri is used to strike the body of an opponent. The striking surface used is either the risoku or the kosoku. When performing a yokogeri with the rear foot, step forward while turning your forward foot to the outside. Then twist your hips hard in the direction of the kick, lean to the side with your upper body, and raise the rear foot, swinging it from the side to deliver the kick. When performing a yokogeri with the forward foot, pull the rear foot up so it is beside the forward foot. Then lean to the side with your upper body and deliver the kick. The position of the upper body is the same as for the tsukigeri and agekeri. Here is a proper yokogeri. The hizageri, or knee kick. The hizageri is a kick technique used when grappling with an opponent. In general, the kneecap is the striking surface used to deliver a kick to the opponent's body. To practice the hizageri by yourself, pretend you are holding both of your opponent's shoulders, then pull your opponent forward and downward, at the same time raising the kneecap of your rear leg high to strike your opponent's body. While performing the hizageri, it is important to point the toes of the kicking foot toward the ground. When the rear leg is used to deliver a hizageri, set the foot down next to the other foot, then step back with the other foot, kick with that leg, and set the foot down to the side again. In this way, the left and right legs are switched to the rear and can be used in sequence to deliver a hizageri. Let's take one more look at a proper hizageri. The fumigeri, or heel kick. The fumigeri is generally used as a final blow when the opponent has been thrown to the ground and is delivered to either the head or the body with the shosoku. When practicing the fumigeri by yourself, assume chudan no kamae and lift the knee of the kicking leg high. Then stamp downward with your heel, applying your body weight to the kick. When raising the knee, it is important to point the toes downward, but when stamping downward, the heel should be pointed downward. Let's take one more look at a proper fumigeri. Ukewaza. There are 4 basic ukewaza, or blocking techniques: yoko uke, ue uke, shita uke, and tsukui uke. The blocking surfaces which are used are the tanagokoro, or palm of the hand, the zenpakubu, or forearm, the token, or knife hand, and the shoken, or heel of the palm. Using your left arm to block an attack from the opponent's right, or using your right arm to block an attack from the opponent's left, is called an omote awase. Blocking an attack with the same side as that used by the opponent is called an ura awase. In basic training, practice begins with the omote awase. The yoko uke, or side block. The yoku-uke is used to parry a menzuki, or soto-uchi. In this technique, the tanagokoro, or shoken, is used to block the opponent's outer forearm by driving it to the inside. In basic blocking practice, you should match the forward momentum of your opponent by stepping slightly backward while parrying his blow. When he steps back, you should again match his movement by stepping slightly forward and returning to chudan no kamae. Also, one hand should always guard your solar plexus. Here once more is a proper yoku-uke. The ue-uke, or upper block. The ue-uke is used to parry blows to the face, either a tsuki, a yoku-uchi, or a naname-uchi. In this technique, the zenpakubu or token is used to drive the opponent's inner forearm upward and outward at an angle. Let's take a look at a proper ue-uke. The shita-uke, or lower block. The shita-uke is used to parry an attack to the body. In this technique, the zenpakubu, or token, is used to drive the opponent's inner forearm, or inner ankle, downward and outward at an angle. You can also use the shoken to drive the arm or foot straight down. Let's look once more at a proper shita-uke. The tsukui-uke, or scooping block. The tsukui-uke is used to parry a tsukigeri or agekeri. In this technique, the tanagokoro is used to scoop the opponent's outer ankle and spin the leg away. Let's look once more at a proper tsukuyuke. Kawashiwaza, or body movements. Another category of defensive techniques is kawashiwaza, moving the body to avoid an opponent's attack. There are 6 basic kawashiwaza: sorimi, yokomi, shizumi, kugurimi, hirakimi, and hikimi. Sorimi, leaning back. Sorimi is used to avoid an attack to the head by leaning back with the neck and head. Do not lean straight back from the waist with your upper body. Twist your body backward so one shoulder moves forward and the other shoulder moves backward. After avoiding your opponent's attack, instantly return to your former stance and launch a counterattack. In the basic practice of this technique, counter a right menzuki with the right menzuki, and counter a left menzuki with the left menzuki. Let's take one more look at the sorimi technique. Yokomi, stepping to the side. The technique of yokomi is used to sidestep an attack to the face. If this technique is used in combination with a shitauke or tsukuyuke, it can also effectively counter an attack to the body. In response to an attack to the face with the opponent's rear hand, lean your upper body to the left and step with your left foot, simultaneously twisting your hips, and counter with a dozuki. In response to an attack with the opponent's forward hand, move to the other side. Let's take a look at correct application of the yokomi technique. Shizumi, or crouching. Shizumi is used to avoid an attack to the face by crouching low. Normally, a dozuki is used to counter the opponent's attack. Let's watch how the Shizumi technique is applied. Kugurimi, or ducking. kugurimi is used to duck under the opponent's arm to avoid a yokouchi or nanameuchi to the head. In response to an attack with the opponent's rear hand, turn the head while at the same time ducking under the arm, and simultaneously step with the left foot. While ducking under the arm to avoid your opponent's attack, counter with a do yokouchi. In response to an attack with the opponent's forward hand, move in the opposite direction. Once more, let's watch a proper application of the kugurimi technique. Hirakimi, or open leg rotation. Hirakimi is used to avoid an attack to either the face or the body by spinning to the left or right with the legs open. The Hirakimi technique is used in combination with a block. In response to a menzuki with the opponent's rear hand, step slightly forward and to the side with the left leg, and parry with a yokuuke to sweep away your opponent's arm, and at the same time turn the right leg and counter with a men yokouchi. In response to a menzuki with your opponent's forward hand, use the same procedure in the opposite direction. This technique is also used for arm locks and throws. Once again, let's watch Hirakimi being properly carried out. Hikimi, or moving back. Hikimi is used to avoid attacks to the body by moving your body backwards. In response to an attack to the body, jerk your hips backward and place your weight on your rear foot. It is important to keep the spine straight. As soon as the attack has been avoided, spring forward, pushing off your rear foot, and counter while moving forward. This is the Hikimi technique being correctly applied. When practicing kawashiwaza, all techniques except Hirakimi should generally be performed without blocks. In actual practice, however, these techniques are often used in combination with blocks. This concludes our introduction of the basic techniques used in the combat form of Kempo, known as Nippon Kempo. Hakugeki kata are a collection of techniques for using punches and kicks for both offense and defense. These are the heart of Nippon Kempo. The Hakugeki kata consist of 6 tsuki, 6 yokuuchi, 6 zatsura, 6 kiriwaza, and 8 katatewaza, for a total of 32 techniques. practiced kata is form without conscious thought. The more one practices a kata, the more unconscious it becomes. During the confusion of a fight, one returns naturally to the basic kata form. Kata should be practiced to improve the techniques used in sparring, where the participants wear protective gear. Now let's look more closely at the 32 Hakugeki kata techniques. First, the 6 tsuki. Dai Ikke, Technique 1. In response to a menzuki with the right honken, parry with a yokuuke, do a yokomi, and counter with a menzuki. Dai Nikke, Technique 2. In response to a menzuki with the left honken, parry with a yokuuke, do a yokomi, and counter with a dozuki. Dai Sanke, Technique 3. In response to a dozuki with the right honken, parry with a shitauke, and counter with a menzuki. Dai Yonke, Technique 4. In response to a dozuki with the left honken, do a hikimi, and parry with a shitauke, then counter with a menzuki with a fist held vertically. Dai Goke, Technique 5. In response to a menzuki with the right honken, counter with a dozuki, using the left honken. Dai Lokke, Technique 6. In response to a menzuki with the left honken, counter with a dozuki, using the right honken. Next, let's study the 6 yokouchi. Dai Ikke. In response to a men yokouchi with the right honken, parry with an ueuke, and grasp your opponent's arm, do a hirakimi, and counter with a men yokouchi. Dai Nikke. In response to a men yokouchi with the left honken, parry with an ueuke, and simultaneously counter with a menzuki. Dai Sankei. In response to a do-yoku uchi with the right honken, parry with the shita-uke, and counter with a men-yoku uchi. Dai Yonkei. In response to a do-yoku uchi with the left honken, do a hikimi and parry with the shita-uke, then counter with a men soto uchi. Dai Gokei. In response to a men-yoku uchi with the right honken, do a kugurimi and counter with a do-yoku uchi. Dai Lokkei. In response to a men-yoku uchi with the left honken, do a sorimi and parry with the yoku-uke using your left hand, and grasp your opponent's arm. Then do a hirakimi and counter with the men-yoku uchi. Next, let's examine the 6 zatsura. The 6 zatsura consist of 2 soto uchi. 2 naname uchi. 2 age uchi. 第1形. In response to a men soto uchi with the right hyoken, parry with the yoku-uke, do a yokomi, and counter with a men soto uchi. Dai 2形. In response to a men soto uchi with the left hyoken, parry with an ue-uke, do a yokomi, and while pulling your opponent's arm, counter with a men yoku uchi. Dai 3形. In response to a naname uchi to the face with the right riken, avoid the blow by doing a sorimi, and then counter with a naname uchi to the face. Dai 4形. In response to a naname uchi to the face with the left riken, parry with an ue-uke, and counter with an age uchi to the face. Dai 5形. In response to an age uchi to the face with the right honken, parry with a shita-uke, do a sorimi, and then counter with an age uchi to the face. Dai 6形. In response to an age uchi to the face with the left honken, do a sorimi, and block with a shita-uke using the left hand, then counter with a naname uchi to the face. Now let's look at the 6 keriwaza. Dai Ikkei. In response to a tsukigeri with a right risoku, parry with a shitauke, do a yokomi, and counter with a tsukigeri. Dai Nikkei. In response to a tsukigeri with a left risoku, parry with a shitauke, do a hikimi, and counter with a menzuki with a fist held vertically. Dai Sankei. In response to an agekiri with the right risoku, step back, and at the same time parry the kick with a sukui uke and grasp the leg. Place your right hand on the leg, opening your opponent's front, and then counter with an agekiri to the groin. Dai Yonkei. In response to an agekiri with a left risoku, do a hikimi, parry the kick with a sukui uke, and sweep it away, then counter with a do yokuuchi. Dai Gokei. In response to a menzuki with a right honken, parry with a yokuuke, do a yokomi, and counter with a hizageri to the body. Dai Lokkei. In response to a menzuki with the left honken, avoid the blow by doing a sorimi, and counter with a tsukigeri. Finally, let's study the 8 katate waza. The hand that parries the blow also becomes the striking hand. Therefore, these techniques require a high level of skill. The first 2 one-hand techniques change from a yokuuke. The next 2 change from an ueuke. The next 2 change from a shitauke. The final 2 change from a sukui-uke. Dai Ikkei. In response to a menzuki with the right honken, parry with a yokuuke, force the arm away, and counter with a menzuki. Dai Nikkei. In response to a menzuki with the left honken, parry with a yokuuke, do a hirakimi, and counter with a men yokuuchi. Dai Sankei. In response to a men yokuuchi with the right honken, parry with a token ueuke, and counter with a do yokuuchi. Dai Yonkei. In response to a men yokuuchi with the left honken, parry with an ueuke, force the arm down, and then counter with a menzuki. Dai Gokei. In response to a dozuki with the right honken, parry with a shitauke using the shoken, then counter with a menzuki. Dai Lokkei. In response to a tsukigeri with the left risoku, parry with a shitauke, do a yokomi, and counter with a men sotouchi. Dai Nanake. In response to a tsukigeri with the right risoku, do a hikimi, parry with a sukui uke using the right hand, and grasp the foot. Then let go of the leg, and counter with a do yokouchi. Dai Hakke. In response to an agekeri with the left risoku, step backward with a hirakimi, and simultaneously use your left hand to parry with a sukui uke and sweep the kick away. Then counter with a men sotouchi. This concludes the 32 Hakugeki Kata techniques.